Hello everyone. In today's session, let us see the synthesis of nanomaterials by precipitation method from module 5. In the last two sessions, you had seen the synthesis of nanomaterial by salt gel method and chemical vapor deposition method. So here we will be discussing another approach of synthesis for nanomaterial, that is by precipitation method. The concept or the reaction which involves in a precipitation is quite familiar, where we actually make two or more chemicals to react with each other and a product is going to be formed. Usually this product will be undergoing it will be settling down and we call it as a precipitate. So here also we are going for the synthesis of nanomaterial by the same approach. Schematic flow in general is shown here, where the precipitation process is almost always governed by stirring process, where first macro emulsion would be formed and then mini emulsion would be formed. That is, particles of small size must be obtained from the macro size one. So outcome of this discussion could be listed as follows. After this discussion, you would be able to understand the concept of precipitation in general, also able to explain the different steps involved in the synthesis of copper oxide nanoparticle, that is taken as an example. Draw or write a schematic flow for the process. Write the reaction involved in the synthesis, that is for copper oxide nanoparticles, and then list the advantages of the method. So let us see in general as a principle or outline how we can say a precipitation method. Any precipitation method would involve the precipitation of nanometer sized particles within the continuous fluid solvent. So we would be taking a fluid system, we make the particles to settle and we call it as precipitation. So precipitation method could be explained in general, that is like how I told in the introduction part. Better to understand, usually we explain our syllabus by taking the example of one particular case study, that is synthesis of copper oxide nanoparticles. So here I have explained the precipitation method by taking the synthesis of CuO. Let us see the precipitation method. It is nothing but the procedure involved in the synthesis. So in the first step, to synthesize copper oxide nanoparticle, we have to take 55 gram of copper sulfate pentahydrate. So this is a stock chemical. To get copper oxide, we need to take copper sulfate pentahydrate, about 55 gram. Okay, that is reagent 1. Then we have to prepare one more reagent, that is 25 gram of hydroxylamine hydrochloride or hydroxyl ammonium chloride. Please note the formula here, that is NH2OH HCl. That must be prepared in 125 ml distilled water. It's actually, I have mixed two steps here. In the first step, we have to prepare a copper sulfate solution. In the next step, we have to prepare a hydroxyl ammonium chloride solution. How? By preparing or dissolving 25 gram of the chemical in 125 ml water. Then the two reagent must be mixed well. So in fact, this comprises of three steps: reagent A preparation, reagent B, and mix them well. Okay, and then in the next step, the mixture must be cooled well under a cold water bath, and we have to go for a constant swirling. I said in order to facilitate precipitation, the system always is accompanied with the stirring or swirling. So here the mixture must be cooled enough, and then always we have to go for swirling, and then we have to go for addition of a sodium hydroxide solution. This is considered to be reagent C. That is, first one copper sulfate, second one hydroxyl ammonium chloride, and third one sodium hydroxide. But we must also know how sodium hydroxide solution must be prepared. That is written as a third point. A solution containing 40 gram of sodium hydroxide dissolved in 750 ml of distilled water is added. In fact, what happens here in practical is, when you mix reagent A and B, to that solution you are going to add the third reagent, sodium hydroxide, and this reaction would be exothermic and lot amount of heat would be liberated. That is why we say that reaction must be cooled under cold water bath, and then we must proceed. So let me once summarize till here. So first step, we have to take the copper sulfate solution, and then we have to take hydroxyl ammonium chloride solution, and the mixture must be kept under cold water bath. Go for continuous swirling and then add a sodium hydroxide solution. When this much we do, automatically this particular reaction takes place. Please see this. Reagent A, copper sulfate. Reagent B, hydroxyl ammonium chloride, or sometimes also called as hydroxylamine hydrochloride, NH2OH HCl. Third reagent, NaOH. All mixed, you would be getting the precipitate Cu2O, that is a cupric oxide nanoparticle. Now here you would be also getting lot of byproducts. Observe this: nitrogen, sodium sulfate, then water and sodium chloride also going to be formed. So of course we have to go for washing the precipitate many number of times, and we have to make it chloride free. Let me tell it in the next step again. So please learn this reaction for exam point of view. The three reagents on reaction, how the precipitation is going to be formed. This is what written here as a statement. Now the precipitate is settled down and the supernatant liquid is poured off. In fact, we don't want that remaining liquid, only the precipitate we want. So supernatant liquid is poured off, and then in fact here we have to go for a filtration. On filtration we will be getting the copper oxide nanoparticle. Some more information must be known here. That's what I told. In the next step, precipitate must be washed several times so that it becomes a chloride free. Any chloride content is there along with the precipitate, that will be washed. Washings we are discarding, only precipitate we are taking. And then the precipitate must be dried to 200 to 250 degrees Celsius. This is actually any oven drying we can go for, so that any moisture content if present in the precipitate, that would be evaporated. Further, the precipitate must be heated to 300 degrees Celsius, that is plus 50 degrees Celsius in an open air. That's the difference, and we are going to get CuO nanoparticles. So one reaction could be remembered, very simple: heat Cu2O in open air, you are going to get CuO nanoparticles. So here again three steps after the precipitation. One is washing the precipitate many times to make it chloride free, then heat to 200 to 250 degrees Celsius to any moisture content would be evaporated, then heat to 300 degrees Celsius to get copper oxide nanoparticle. So here I have tried it with the diagram so that you can understand the concept better. There was a presentation for a general precipitation method which I have made case specific for copper oxide. So first reagent is copper sulfate, you can make out in the diagram, this one, and then second one is hydroxylamine hydrochloride. The two must be mixed, and to this particular solution you must keep a continuous swirling. Also we must keep a cold water bath. Under that condition the reagent 3, sodium hydroxide, is added, and we get a precipitation of a copper oxide nanoparticle. That is actually we get Cu2O, and then we have to go for wash the precipitate many times after filtration, and then dry, and then go for open drying. We get Cu2O. Further, if you proceed, you are going to get CuO nanoparticles on heating. Okay, that is about the schematic way how you can remember the process. In fact, syllabus they don't expect this to remember, but I have drawn it so that process you can remember easily. Let us see some advantages of the method. As you have seen the process, it is simple and it is a rapid method because quick chemical reaction takes place to get the precipitate. So it's a rapid method. Then we can have good control over the particle size. Also the composition of the nanoparticle could be well controlled, and then various possibilities to modify the particle surface and homogeneity of the same. That could be, homogeneity could be maintained among the particle by precipitation method. So here quickly let us once go through the process. So in the first step, take reagent copper sulfate, mix it with hydroxylamine hydrochloride, cool the mixture, go for swirling, add NaOH solution, then write the reaction, show the precipitation of Cu2O, and then go for the filtration, wash the precipitate to make it chloride free, and then first initial drying to 250 degrees Celsius, that could be in a closed environment, and then open drying to 300 degrees Celsius to get CuO nanoparticles. This much you should know under precipitation method. This if you remember well and good, so that the concept is visualized. After this synthesis of nanomaterial, we are going to discuss about the nano materials. That is, by taking the example mainly 3 nanomaterials which are used in practice, that is fullerenes, carbon nanotubes and graphenes, which will be discussed in the next session. Thank you.